Our tree named Steve. I thought because yesterday was Earth Day, I would read this book. But before I read it, I need to tell you that it is my favorite book of all time. And it's about a tree in this family's yard that gets destroyed in a storm. And how they felt about it. And when we're done, I've got something to share you. Because I have a story about my own tree. Our Tree Named Steve by Alan Zwiebel, illustrated by David Cottrell. See the pictures, right? You can see the pictures, right? Dear kids, a long time ago when you were little, Mom and I took you to where we wanted to build a house for us to live in. But in order to build there, men had to come and clear the land. See, there's the family in the car. And it says sold. This is the land they're buying. I remember there was one tree, however, that the three of you couldn't stop staring at. Adam thought it was crying. Lindsay said it looked nervous. And Sari, who was only 2 years old, couldn't pronounce the word tree and called it Steve. So this one tree is in the middle of this lot, and they're going to build a home. So they decide that they're going to keep this tree because the kids loved it so much. I love you, Steve, she kept saying. And then Adam and Lindsay started saying it. And before too long, Mom and I got the hint and asked the builder to please save Steve. The day we moved in, Steve was there to greet us. So they built their house and they saved the tree, this tree they wanted there. Look at the kids in the window and the dog. He quickly worked his way into your lives as a swing holder, target, third base, hiding place, and jump rope turner. And whenever our dryer broke down, he held our underwear with pride. Look at the dog. Yes, right there in the center of our yard, this weird-looking tree grew to become the center of our outdoor life. Through all our barbecues, campouts, dance parties, or when Adam and Lindsay started getting crushes on the Simon kids next door, Steve adjusted to our every need. And it was always easy, standing tall through snowstorms in the winter. Or when Uncle Chester napped in the hammock, couldn't possibly have been fun. Not to mention the time that the sewer overflowed and Steve sucked up all that smelly water before it drowned Kirby. Then got so sick himself that the tree doctor had to give Steve a haircut that made him look like a big thumb. So they cut off all the dead branches, but he still was there, strong. Through the years, Mom and I had tried to show you a world filled with strangers, that peace comes with having things you can count on and a safe place to return to after a hard day or a long trip. Which brings me to the point of this letter. Last week, a storm hit our area. Now he says, which brings me to the point of this letter. So at the very beginning, he says, dear kids. So I'm thinking maybe the kids have grown up and moved away. Maybe. Or maybe they were gone away. I don't know. We'll have to see. Which brings me to this point of this letter. Last week, a storm hit our area. And though we spared Steve's life a long time ago, this time we couldn't save him. They couldn't save the tree, could they? The storm broke it. Are we sad? Sure we are. But even in his final moments when he could have fallen on our house, Sari's swing or Kirby's house or Mom's garden, Steve performed his last trick and protected all of us to the very end. And friends like this are hard to find. So with the tree as their friend, it fell the opposite way so it didn't ruin their house. And all they've got left is the stump. So when you come home from Grandma's next week, Steve will not be able to greet you as he's done in the past. I'm sorry. So that's where the kids were. They were visiting Grandma and Grandpa. But please know that Steve will always be with us in our hearts, in our thoughts, and a different tree at the other end of our yard. See you next week. Love, Dad. So there's something made of wood. So what do you think? You think they used all that wood from the tree and maybe made a tree house out of Steve so they could still enjoy him, but now he was the wood, the tree house. Awesome. I wanted to show you this because if you look at this picture, this is a picture of my house, and there's this big tree right there. But this fall, there was a big storm, and the tree got knocked over, and this is what my son made me out of the tree. Isn't that cool? Because he knew I loved the tree that was in the front yard. So he made me this so I could put it on a little picture thing and always have it. And he made me this too. Isn't that cool? Oh, well, if it's sunny as it was yesterday, you need to go outside and play, because even though it's not Earth Day today, it's still, we need to appreciate the outdoors. So have a good time and go outside and play.